heard a lot of technologies, a lot of new opportunities, flexible things. Yeah, that's quite nice. We have a lot of new businesses that may arise on top of what we learned yesterday and this morning, data as the oil. And that is something that we also consider to do in a PLANTCockpit, a project that I just very briefly introduce here with a special focus on the SOA concept. And there's an exhibition stand. If you want to have some more information, of course, you are invited to come there. Good. So what to do? You all know the good old automation pyramid and the discussions that have been there for changing this. And in order to have the flexibility to give add-on values and to bring new functionality, maybe services, okay, why not? Function is more or less maybe a bit old-fashioned word to that. The main requirement for that is to access data at the different layers of the shop floor. So in order to combine the data, to aggregate them, to put them into new functionalities, we need to access, we need to know where the data are, or we need to have some help in order to present us the data in the right way. Applications that we attack here in this project are the typical ones dealing with tracking of KPIs and tracking of orders of materials. We do some kinds of asset optimization and of course the topics of sustainability are important here, so addressing energy monitoring and management is also one of the use cases here. So that means we need to access data. We need to know what these data stand for, and we need to combine them in different ways, flexible, depending on what we want to achieve with the data. So, as I said before, we learned from all the SOA-aware devices and all the billions of sensors that could be introduced here. But when we look to our traditional factories in a moment, we see that there's a little bit of having some wishes, and reality is something that is different. So does that mean that we cannot apply SOA concepts here? Of course not. SOA is something that we need here in order to get the data and in order to invoke the functions. Looking back, what is already available except these internet technologies, also in the automation business, there is a concept that is using flexibility in order to set up automation and control applications. We all know maybe the function block paradigm that was introduced, and our application is finally a set of functions, services, and these functions can be deployed to different parts of the system. And keeping that in mind, our main intention was to draw this concept that comes from the automation control levels of the pyramid a little bit more towards MES, ERP, and also our besides sitting PLANTCockpit there. So having this in mind, what we developed here is an architecture. You can see it roughly on the left side. These gray boxes at the lowest layer, these are the different systems that we face, and these systems are in the different levels of the pyramid. So we put the pyramid just down and need to access all these systems. We need to get the data from it. We need to combine this data. And probably also we need to give some data to kind of visualization. And that is what we can see here. These green and blue boxes on the left side, that is the heart of our PLANTCockpit solution. That is something that we call the function block manager and the coordination activity, the function blocks itself. These are our our services here in that sense, that they do some calculations, they do the aggregation, they do the, depending on the functionality that we need to do. And the network of such function blocks is what finally the application comes out to be. And you can see some of the green boxes here that are some specialized function blocks. These are the blocks that need to connect to external systems, to the traditional, to the legacy systems, and provide the integration in a way that we need it on the upper level. The yellow boxes here care for all that needs to be done with storing of data, with storing of configuration, so persistence is the keyword here, and these red and orange on top, that is for visualization. So in our sense here, we have these function blocks, that you see a bit more in detail on the right-hand side. We have the functionality that is encapsulated. We also heard from Jose about the IP activities here. So such a function block could perfectly encapsulate some IP topics here and provide some service. And the exchange of the data is done by messaging. And these messages are the green boxes here that come in and go out. And all that is, of course, from a software-oriented perspective, done on an object-oriented way. So we have an abstract superclass that we need here in order to derive the new function blocks on top of that, making sure that the main functionalities for going into the system are already here. So how these things are combined, you can see here an example for such a function block. An adapter in that sense that may be used to access a database, and this adapter is, or this function block as a general term, is able to provide some data points. We have an incoming data point here, and a message that might come in here is kind of an invoking of a service. And this message needs to be understood, needs to be transformed if necessary, provided to the adapter logic, and then finally the adapter does something and may generate other messages, and it also may generate messages of different types, depending on what else needs to be done with the data. So this is just one block, and in order to make a system out of it, these things can be combined. So we have a route manager defining the data flows. That can be done via different paradigms. And finally, the next function block here is getting in the data and does a transformation if necessary, gives it over to the functionality that could be, for example, calculation of a KPI, and could also send messages to other components, for example, for making something persistent, or could probably be connected to the next block that is somewhere sitting in the visualization. So that this clearly is a SOA-based principle, and the system concept is based on these technologies. Keeping in mind that we want to have the flexibility to get the data from the places where they are, combine them, and put applications on top of that. And yeah, as I said, legacy integration is something that we needed to do. You can see here on the right-hand side a number of adapters that we have created. And you can see very static ones, for example, accessing these typical MES applications, where the good old joke is MES stands for my Excel sheet. So a lot of functionality that has been done also in big companies with Excel, with projects, etc. And of course, you could see here adapters going to the ERP level, going to down also to device level. So device profile for web services was already mentioned. We have an adapter here as well. And we also have adapters that really go down to devices itself. So for example, we developed an adapter for Profinet, an Ethernet-based industrial network. The whole strategy behind it is relying on technologies. I've written some of them here, Apache Service Mix as the heart of the thing. And yeah, finally, we were successful with setting up applications on top of these technologies using this concept of function blocks, adapters, services, whatever you like. And one is for sure, it definitely helped to improve the flexibility. It's rather easy to introduce new function blocks, new services in that sense. We did this for some of the use cases, and we do also currently some integrating activities on top of the use cases. But on the other hand, something that is also needed, you pay a price for that. So flexibility typically has something to do with adaptability and with the chance and also the task to adapt these functionality of the blocks and the network to the systems. That means we have an overhead here, and that's the price we pay. And we have also some additional tasks in configuration that we are currently addressing. And here we also, we already had heard about the semantics topics here. So semantics plays an important role also in terms of configuration of such a system. Good, that was just in brief what I wanted to say, how we are in PLANTCockpit addressing flexibility issues, and this based on service-oriented principles. Thank you very much.